Woo! What is going on, you guys? Welcome to the end of the video. If you guys haven't checked out the last Wagon update, we sanded the entire engine bay down, and then off camera I sanded the bay a lot more before primer. Then I went to the paint shop to grab some high built primer from a brand called Luma Base. This was affordable and it did the job really well. High built primer, you mix it 4-part primer, 1-part activator, and 20% thinner. So after sanding the entire engine bay down, I used the high build primer on the areas that I knew I was going to rework, and the areas that are more main focus to the eye when everything goes back into the car, which is the front radiator support, the towers, and the top part of the firewall. So I laid high build primer on all those areas, and then in the gun I did thin it out a little bit more to use it as sealer, and then I pretty much went through the entire engine bay and sealed everything, right? So after the primer had dried, I gave it about a day, and then I went back to check it out, to my realization that there's a lot of areas that I need to rework, like feathering out all of the layers of paint that was underneath before. A lot of areas that had paint crack that I didn't see, so I had to sand those way back down to smooth it all out. And then once we got the engine bay all sanded down once again, I did lay down the primer with more thinner, like 30-40%, to seal the entire engine bay once more before base coat and clear coat. Now when the weekend approached, the paint shop wasn't open, so I wasn't able to get base coat, but the following week came and I was able to get base coat from a brand called Valspar. I've used this many and plenty of times. This paint is like less transparent, so it takes less layer to make it a solid color, but I guess, you know, that also depends on how many layers you want to put on to really change the tone of, you know, the under layer you're trying to achieve, right? So Valspar, I bought the paint coat for my car is 1H5 from the Scion TC called Cement Gray Metallic. I bought a pint of this because I didn't need any more than that, and I also bought a pint of Laguna Gold for my brother's hood. Now I did take off his hood off camera, which is right there, right? And I decided that I'm going to be painting that in its own separate video because I'm also going to paint one of his doors. So I'm gonna leave that job for a different day. But as far as this video goes, we did lay some paint down finally in the engine bay yesterday, and dude, came out freaking amazing. Now I mentioned in the last video and also to a couple of my friends that I'm not building a show car. I just want an engine bay to look a lot better than what it did before with all the paint chips and everything and how dull it looked, right? And what I achieved right there, fire. I will say there was 2 mistakes that I did, and I knew this, but I wanted to push through it anyway. So one, I was using medium activator, which is honestly what I had. It's just what I had lying around, medium activator. I normally spray like summertime where the temperature is like 65-70 plus. Medium activators between 70 to 80 degrees to work properly. My first mistake is using the medium activator, right? My second mistake was spraying in the cold. It was like 62-63 degree, and I knew that it was going to take a little bit longer for the coats to dry, especially the clear coat. And then my third mistake was laying it pretty heavy on the last coat. The first coat I waited about 5-10 minutes in between. It was kind of tacky but still wet. But I was like, you know what, if I wait any longer going into the night, it was going to get even colder. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go with the second coat. The second coat went on really nice and clean, and then I did the third about 10 minutes in between as well. And the third, I laid it on pretty thick. I always thought rule of thumb is the wetter you lay is how it's going to look when it's all dry. Facts. But problem was it was so cold that, you know, it just wasn't drying as fast. So the cons, I guess, of it being cold is that the paint took longer to dry, the clear coat, which then gave it a little bit more time to solidify, to really flatten out, to smooth out, and really just get that final gloss finish instead of a ton of orange peel. Again, the con to that is because it was taking longer to dry while the clear coat was wet. Throughout the night, it started to drizzle. So a lot of the runs that you guys saw that I shown you guys, that was just from overnight sitting there while it was just drying throughout. But honestly, clear coat can be sanded down, can be polished out, and the areas that are visible to the eye when everything is back in the car, there's not really that much drip. All the drips that's like throughout the engine bay elsewhere, I honestly don't even care about it. But I will do some cut and polish work in the bay on the areas that you can see when everything goes back together. So hopefully we'll knock that out in about a week or two when the bay is like dry. It's dried, but I want to make sure it's dry before I cut and polish it. Honestly, I'm very happy and satisfied with the outcome of the engine bay paint job. And dude, Harbor Freight paint gun, I used literally this one gun for primer, base coat, and clear coat. I didn't even change the tip on this. I believe this is like a 1.4. It laid the primer perfectly, the base coat perfectly, and the clear coat perfectly. I've had this since, this is the gun that I bought when I painted the engine bay of my EF sedan. That engine bay came out pretty fire too. And this thing, I cleaned it up. It's ready to go for the next round, whatever the project may be. I honestly just wanted to get down with the work and just try to knock it out as soon as possible so we can move on to the H2B CRX right here onto the driveway. Yes, it still is what it is. I just call it the H2B CRX to avoid all the spams in the comment, guys. So don't stress it out too much. But now that that's out of the way, man, we can finally get started on that car once again. Now, before I cap out this video, I did get two things today I want to share with you guys really quickly. This package right here came from Mark all the way out in Australia, which is also known as ED Conversion. ED Conversion sells hydro conversions for right-hand drive EF specifically to the EF right-hand drive. Let me say that one more time. Right-hand drive EF specifically. Hydro conversion, this actually includes its own pedal assembly, the full hydro conversion, clutch master line, the whole shebang to convert your right-hand drive EF to full hydro. Now that car does have a full hydro kit in it, but it has been not working correctly. It was my first one I made in 2015, and honestly, it's just, I feel like it's janky. It's worked all these years. Something failed because this car does not drive the same anymore, and instead of me trying to figure out how to make it all work again, I wanted to buy something legit for it. So ED conversion, hydro conversion for EF right-hand drive specifically. This kit right here has everything I need to convert the wagon legitimately full hydro, and this will be its own video. So shout out to Mark for getting this out so quickly. I honestly thought it was going to take longer, which is why I sprayed the bay yesterday, because I was hoping that I was going to get this to modify the firewall, then paint the bay. But it is what it is. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Fast shipping, we have it now, and that's what matters. Now this package right here, I'm not going to open with you guys on camera. I'm going to keep it in here until I get the frame for it, but I will include a video on the outro music, so be sure to stay to the end. I want to give a shout out to my friend Sketch Spells on Instagram. I had reached out to her to see if she can do a portrait of my cat Meow Meow. If you guys don't know, if you guys haven't seen the last video, my cat Meow Meow, 14 years, passed away in October, and I wanted to get this done as a tribute to him to put with his urn that's inside the house. So my friend here, I've known her since high school, and she's been an artist since high school. She does commission pay artwork on the side, and I reached out to her to see if she can collage 4 photos to make this one that I wanted. And dude, she knocked it out of the ballpark. So stay to the end to see what the artwork looks like of my cat Meow Meow. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the paint work on the Wagon engine bay. If you guys did, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around for some H2B all-wheel drive content, because I'm gonna be working on it tomorrow, it'll be the next video for you guys. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.